Hey guys, welcome back to my official YouTube channel Beauty and Lifestyle. In this video, I am going to tell you 7 practical steps to study long hours without getting tired or sleepy. So, let's start it. But before I come to the first step, I want to make 3 quick points. First, when it comes to mastering academics or any field for that matter, number of hours in itself doesn't mean much. What matter is the quality of study you put in. Have you got up in the morning feeling groggy even after an 8-hour sleep? I have. If your sleep is interrupted for some reasons during the night, you too will wake up tired and groggy despite 8 hours of sleep. And without the interruption, you are much more likely to have a sound sleep despite sleeping for 6 hours. Second point, if despite being well rested you feel lethargic and challenging to start, then the problem may lie elsewhere. You may be procrastinating, or worse, you may be lacking in motivation. We all procrastinate and it can be overcome with effort. But lack of motivation may require intervention at a deeper, bigger level. Third point, don't stretch yourself at the cost of sleep and exercise. Such routine will compromise your health and hence won't be sustainable. So now coming back to our main topic. Here are 7 steps you can take to study long hours without getting overly tired or drowsy. First, prioritize your schedule. Take up the difficult material in the forenoon when you are at your best energy wise. If somehow you are, for most people, this is the time when they are most productive. If somehow you are an exception to this, feel free to take up the difficult material at a time that works for you. Such scheduling matches your energy with the difficulty of the task at hand. As a result, you feel less challenging topics in the evening, by when you have dissipated loads of your physical and mental energy and when tendency to slack is highest. Second, the most important point which I always include, exercise. As far as academics are concerned, physical exercise boosts learning ability and long-term memory and controls anxiety and depression. But the benefits of exercise go beyond. It also improves concentration, alertness, and motivation. Physical activity can have both immediate and long-term benefits on academic performance. Almost immediately after engaging in physical activity, children are better able to concentrate on classroom tasks, which can enhance learning. With these benefits, you can not only get more out of your study, but also lastly nap. Yes, still, if you can't get it the legit way, it is so important. The most important aspect of nap is that performance slacks much less than when you don't nap, which means you can study at a high intensity even late in the evening if you have had a nap in the afternoon. So steal a nap in the afternoon and you will be in a better position to handle your next session. The little nap can add hours to your schedule in the evening, quality as well as quantity wise. So limit it to 30 to 40 minutes to avoid going into deep sleep and feeling groggy after awaking. Besides, a longer nap can also keep you awake late in the night. And try napping at the same time every day. Most people nap immediately after lunch. Schedule yours. Here is fourth point. Eat to maintain energy levels. Although your brain constitutes just 2% of your body weight, it guzzles 20% of your daily energy intake. Non-pleasurable, mentally exhausting tasks, academic learning will fall into draining your energy fast. It is important to eat in a way that sustains your energy level when performing mentally exhausting tasks. For that, you have to include foods like oats, porridge, low-fat dairy, anything whole grain, and most fruits, which release glucose slowly in bloodstream, thereby maintaining energy levels for a longer period. So include that. Here is fifth point. Conserve your mental energy. Because your brain is energy guzzler, 2% versus 20%. I already mentioned it. It is important not to dissipate your energy by letting your mind wander into debilitating, irrelevant thoughts that linger on, just like why did he or she behave with me so rudely, what if I fail in the exam, why this happens with me, and so on. An effective way to squash such thoughts is to recognize them the moment they cross your mind. Count up to 3 and divert your mind elsewhere. Yes, such thoughts creep in so automatically that we don't realize that they are gnawing you mentally, unless, of course, you practice breaking the train of thoughts and counting or anything else you may try. Here is sixth point. Take regular breaks. You should take breaks for two reasons. It not only relaxes you, but it also restores your waning concentration. Your concentration starts dropping after 50 minutes or so, and if you keep powering your way through, you will be studying with lesser concentration, which is similar to wasting time. So, take a 5 to 10 minute break every 15 minutes to restore your focus. This period may vary for individuals, so test what works for you. During the break, do anything but study. Walk around, eat something, get some quick exercise, gaze outside, and so on. The main idea is to take a break from what you have been doing. Here is seventh point. If possible, study or work in daylight. Well, this may be a luxury which most likely you can't afford, but if you can, please follow. Studying or working in daylight makes you less drowsy, more alert in the afternoon, thereby increasing your productivity or adding more hours to your schedule. So pull your table and chair to the corner of the room which receives sunlight. Thus, however, doesn't mean studying directly under sunlight. If the room where you study receives sunlight, it is good enough. These were few points which you have to keep in your mind always. Thank you. And if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and share it with others.